Okay, so what's the secret of creation? The secret of creation, those those words, those famous words that appear, I want to say in chapter 3 of the book of Genesis. Those words, let there be light. What's the secret of that statement? Let there be light. What's one of the secrets? Put it that way. One of the secrets is that it denotes movement. Peace, bro. Thanks for the package. I got something for you. Okay, that's what's up. I appreciate it, brother. Glad you got it. Glad you got it. Hope you enjoy the book. So the secret of creation then is or one of the secrets. Let me make sure I say it that way. One of the secrets is movement. Okay. Now, why is it you have 32, sit back, 32 teams in the NFL? Those 32 teams mirror the 32 paths of the tree of life. 22 paths, 10 Sephiroth, 22 Hebraic letters in the alphabet, plus the 10 Sephiroth, or 10 hands. So each Sephiroth is a seed. Henry. So if each one is a seed, then that's equivalent to that tree being the garden. And when you plant a seed already has, Henry, it already has intelligence encoded in it. Just like this big head boy right here. It already has intelligence encoded in it. And its number one function is to expand that seed. So you see each one of those Sephiroth or Sephira, you see these paths, that's the seed expanding. Okay? It's receiving and it's expanding. Now, what's going on behind the scenes of all of this is movement. That's what started all of it, was movement. Let there be light is movement. Because before let there be light, there's silence. When that is uttered, then that creates a vibration or a movement. Again, that's what's represented in the expansion or the unfolding of these seeds, called the tree of life or the garden of Eden. Now, imagine, I shouldn't have come this way. Imagine what happens if there's no fertilizer to prepare the soil to properly allow the seed to germinate and grow into its full potential. It's just not going to happen, or it's going to be stagnated. Well, then On the flip side, imagine what happens if you put too much fertilizer. It too can be stagnating, or worse, can kill, or how should I say, it can make the soil, it can hinder the soil's capabilities to support new life. It can rob it of its essence. Now, where am I going with this? What is the worst thing to do to a person who's been poor all their life? What's the worst thing you can do to them? The worst thing you can do is give them a whole bunch of money. If a person's been extremely poor and has had comparisons so that he or she is aware of where they stand in comparison to society, well, they know they're poor, and you all of a sudden give them a whole bunch of money, that is equally as inhumane as their poverty was. Why, Jamal? Before I tell you why, look at an example. How many times do they sacrifice athletes who grew up poor, got a whole bunch of money all of a sudden? How many times are they sacrificed? Athletes, entertainers, you name it, that came from the bottom, now I'm on top type thing, how many times? It's one of the most cruel things to do to a human. It's deprive them of food and all of a sudden give them all the food they can dream of. Because what they then do is sit back and watch your belly pop. Still might not catch where I'm going. Stick around, it gets better. What is the worst thing to do to a populace that has been starved of knowledge, deprived? It is to flood it with information. Flood it. Okay? So now the seeds, which were deprived of the nutrients needed to grow, now are flooded all types of nutrients to where they become toxins and they become the antithesis to life. Ladies and gentlemen, that is one of the purposes of the internet. The webbing giveth and it taketh away. So just like the seeds on the tree of life, or the Sephirah, are supposed to be expansions in consciousness, on the other side they can be webs of entrapment. The tree is supposed to be intermingled, intertwined through the correlations of the different points, not into the compartmentalization into each point. The 10 are supposed to become one. That's what a 10 is a one. The 10 is not supposed to be 10 different pieces. That's the point. And there goes the tide. Tell you, it might be worth getting that book if you know how to read that book, The Lies Behind the Tides. It might be worth getting it. If you don't like thinking, it's not going to be for you, because you got to think. But that's Kabbalah. The book is a Kabbalistic startup manual. But that's what we're talking about. The 10 had to become the one. But if I flood so much, the 10 never realizes its unity. It's always these separate pieces. And man, I'm telling you, it is crazy. It is crazy just how much data flows through the internet. It's immeasurable. It's immeasurable. The big argument, where are we from? Which is a flaw from the start when the pronoun we is used. That's the problem. So then we got to define what is we. What are we? Yeah, son. Yeah, we are. What does we constitute? Does it constitute this? Whatever kind of looks like this? Yeah. Yeah, we are. That's where we going. You know, what makes up we? So then it's, no, we come from Africa. No, we come from Asia. No, we come from America. Okay, all right. It is the thing of, what's another good one? You know, what's the best plan for us? Us is another dangerous pronoun. Us. You know, dangerous. So the great irony is that it can make everybody into some form of a hindrance. Not everybody, but vast majority of the whole concept becomes the enemy itself of enlightenment. Too much information becomes the enemy of enlightenment, is what I'm saying. And see, what happens is the basic cobblestone road to enlightenment never gets traveled. And that basic road is just self-examination. You know, self-transformation. So I move from this over here, and I move over this because this sounds better. This makes me feel better. This one, and it's like, after a while, you don't even factor into the equation. You're just a shell that's inhabited by different renters, different lessees. This is a masterful game that's been put together. Masterful. Don't underestimate it. It has been masterfully done. So that even what appears to be you being defiant, you know, or going against the grain, is really already a predetermined, pre-designed response. Now that's a cold piece of work. The best thing that I see, in my humble estimation, that a person can be these days, at any time, you know, is like there's that whole series called Divergent, where the girl, the main character in there is, she has the ability to tap into all these different skills, so that, you know, she's the Divergent, like she's like Neo, the one. And that's really just That's what it boils down to at the end of the day. Being able, critical thinking is a lost, not a lost art. I'm not gonna say it's a lost art, but it's an endangered art. It's an endangered art, critical thinking. Now, getting back to the point of the doggone video, move, move. If an overindulgence and an overexposure to just information, data, if we have identified that it can become a source of stagnation, then my best course of action is to move. The great question comes up, why did God create? To move. Well, why did God need to move? To not die. Everything's got to move. Yeah. Everything's got to move. So, some things come along. Some things, I must say, come along with getting older. At least they have for me. You know, you think you know things, you think you're smart, you think you're learning stuff. Some stuff just needs to just season. You know, if you get access to some of this, to this information or whatever you want to call this stuff, well, you know, you're really looking to hone in and laser in. You know, it's good to get levels of access, but it's also good just to let stuff grow. That's why you got to live life, and you have to be careful not to run from life, because life is put there to squeeze that light and really enhance all of this. It's the, you know, life is the wine press. You know, don't allow where you're at right now to formulate your entire outlook on the cosmos. Not just life, but the cosmos. We can easily, because of our human conditions, come to conclusions about the cosmos. And we think that we are going beyond our humanity, but we're actually having a response to our humanity. Because it is the antenna that we have for God to feel is humanity. So you can't help but to feel a certain way. All certain things is this and that, and it starts to shape your outlook on everything. And how do I know? Because I have done it over and over. I mean, over and over again. And each perspective is good, though. Each perspective. What makes it toxic is when we see it as the final destination. This is what this is. This is what everything's about. This is all, you know, and this is it. That's when it becomes a problem. It becomes, like we say, like that seed that can't expand. All the seed can do now is just contract. It's not being fed the nutrients to grow. And sometimes the things that happen, you know, give us a certain data set, a certain data points of data, and that becomes our world. Just think about it. Think of this on a very mundane level. Everything you need now is right around your house. You got your own mall by your house. You got your own grocery store, your own post offices. You know, you got your own movie theater in some instances. That was not the case when I was growing up. It was, you had to, go here and go there, and you might, people from different sides of town meet up at this grocery store because it's the closest, and everything's about what's right around you. So what happens is your whole concept of existence becomes just what's in a 5-mile radius for you. That's by design. Same thing about when things happen to you in life, that's the only thing you can see right now because that's what you've been experiencing. It's like, man, this is what it's all about. I'm just, this is where I'm going to hang my hat. When all it is, you just, bless you, baby. That's all it is. You just need, maybe just a fresh perspective, a breath of fresh air. Take a different angle, a different approach. Maybe go back and question everything you thought you knew and just, wait a minute, let me reevaluate this. Question everything you thought you knew, even in your enlightenment. And that's scary. That's scary when you've gotten to a point where you thought you figured out a lot of stuff, and it's like, I got to go back and retrace my steps because this ain't jiving. That's very scary. But that is what movement entails. That's what movement entails. Movement is strictly that. It's motion. And motion is not always predetermined. A lot of times we're moving and don't know exactly where we're going. But obviously, it is important to still move. Why can't people make improvements? A lot of times, it comes down simply to an inability to move. Move mentally, move spiritually. What's one of the greatest affronts to physical health? One of the greatest is the office job. You find some of the most sickness in the office job or the office environment. And see, it's crazy because, if you're somebody like me who's done a lot of manual labor in your life from an early age, young age, then of course you're always salivating at the thought of sitting in a climate controlled environment, ain't got a sweat, back ain't hurting, and da-da-da. And what's ironic is that you might get into that environment and all of a sudden develop back problems. Why? Because now you ain't moving enough. See, every office environment pretty much does the same thing. They have people sitting there and they pressure them, and then they pay them off with a spread of food from some god awful restaurant where none of the stuff is nutrient dense. They eating a bunch of fried chicken tenders and cheese sauces, and everybody be all excited and go around. As soon as they get done, they want to collapse. But they've had that euphoric feeling, and that euphoric feeling is going to have to carry them for maybe the next 3 months so they have another spread of some crap in there for them to eat. And it's a slow form of like giving somebody cyanide, killing them slowly. No movement. They don't move in their body, and they don't move in their mind. And it don't matter if they the district manager or whatever. It's the same thing. It's a form of death If a person allows it to be. It's not saying that, because you work off a job that you ain't about. No, it's about what state of, bless you, baby, what state of mind can you keep? Are you moving mentally? Do you have the mental movement to realize, oh man, if I don't go and exercise when I leave out this place, all this blood just been sitting and pooling in certain areas, and I'm sitting in front of this computer, I got to go and move. If you don't have the mental movement to think of that, you see, then you fall into a possible trap. So, move. It's very important to move. That's why I really, really encourage people to read, to read. It's not so a book can shape your reality. It's that the book helps keep the waters moving. Here, move your body to keep the lower waters moving. In the Quran it says Allah created the bitter waters and the sweet. So you need to move all the waters. Move them. Mentally, physically, spiritually, moving the water. It's Brother Jamal, mastersofthecosmos.com. As always, reminding you to stay down until you get up. Let's see. Flatten up for the slaughter. Fatten up for the slaughter, no doubt. Peace to everybody. Thank y'all for joining in. Either way, it's Brother Jamal, mastersofthecosmos.com, reminding you to stay down until you get up. And when you get up, stay down. Peace. Move.